right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the fourth part of the show, we're going to now get into talking about the Colts-Titans game from Sunday. The Colts picking up the win, 20-17. And there was no Anthony Richardson in this game. Once again, it was January Joe Flacco. And did what he was supposed to do. Got the Colts to win. I think, looking at his stats, didn't put up monster numbers, but again, did what he was supposed to do. The Colts, they were missing Jonathan Taylor in this game. Didn't know if we were going to have Michael Pittman either, because he's dealing, I believe, with a back issue. So it looked like he was going to be out for a couple weeks, but he ended up playing in this game, and he had a nice touchdown catch where he mossed the Titans defensive back. But yeah, the Colts picked up the win here. They, improved to 3-3 on the season. They have now won 3 of their last 4 games after starting off 0-2. They very easily could have, well, I shouldn't say very easily, but they could have beaten Jacksonville and they would have been 4-2 on the season. They only lost by 3. But, Flacco has, done what he was supposed to do. Get the Colts back to 500. They got the Dolphins this week. Anthony Richardson, I think, is going to be back, so that's huge. And that is a home game, right? That's a home game for the Colts. And it's a big game because then after that, they really got some tough games coming up. Because then they're in Houston. After this game with the Dolphins, they're in Houston playing the Vikings in Minnesota, then the Bills at home, on the road against the Jets, and then home against the Lions. It's a tough schedule coming up. So this is a big game coming up for them against the Dolphins. But let's kind of go through the game summary. So Colts, they went right down the field on their first drive. Joe Flacco connected with Josh Downs for a 22-yard touchdown. That was set up by a 22-yard reception by Mo Alley Cox. The Titans punted. Joe Flacco then threw a pick. Titans turned that into a touchdown. Will Levis connected with Westbrook-Ikhine. Not DeAndre Hopkins, not Calvin Ridley, not Tyler Boyd. Not even Treylon Burks. Westbrook-Ikhine. So that made it 7-7. And then the Colts punted. Titans put together a drive that resulted in a Nick Folk 44-yard field goal. So look at that. The Titans were winning at that point. Both teams punted. Colts put together a field goal drive, a Matt Gay 26-yard field goal, so that tied the game. So it was 10-10 at the half. Titans then opened up the second half with a nice drive. 14 plays, 70 yards, almost 9 minutes of time possession down the field. And interesting that on 3rd and 19, they ran the ball, and Tony Pollard took it to the house for 23 from 23 yards out. They didn't even want to throw it. They were like, let's just be conservative and take the points. But Tony Pollard ended up scoring a touchdown, so that was big for the Titans at that moment. Colts then went down the field. Matt Gay kicked a 22-yard field goal, so that made it 17-13. Titans punted, and then the Colts, they went ahead. Like I said, Flacco connected with Michael Pittman for 10 yards. A great catch by Pittman. And both teams exchanged punts. Will Levis threw an interception trying to hit Ridley. And then more punts. And the Titans got the ball last, and they did a bunch of laterals, but it didn't result in anything. And the Colts ended up picking up the win. So Flacco, went 22 of 38, 189 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tyler Goodson, I don't know why I keep saying TJ. Tyler Goodson, 8 carries for 51 yards. Trey Sermon, 18 for 29. Josh Downs had 7 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown. Mo Alley Cox, 4 for 41. Michael Pittman, 3 for 35 and a touchdown. Colts defense, no sacks off of Will Levis. And then Will Levis, speaking of, 16 of 27 for 95 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The Titans ran the ball for 146 yards. Pollard had a nice game, 93 yards on the ground and a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins in the receiving game, 4 for 54. Tyler Boyd, 3 for 19. Calvin Ridley targeted 8 times. 8. No catches. And the Titans defense, no sacks in the game. No sacks in the game in general. Wow. And Calvin Ridley at the end of the game, used some profanity, but he was talking about how he wanted to get more involved in the game. Was clearly not happy about what's going on with the team and his contribution or lack thereof. Well, my thing is this. I think signing with the Titans was a mistake for Ridley. I don't know what other teams were offering him contracts. I mean, he probably went to the Titans because they offered the most money. But if I was Ridley, I probably would have went to a better team. Again, I like the skill position players for the Titans, but ultimately, what is holding them back? It's the quarterback. Will Levis is not good. He has not played well this year. I mean, he's been a walking meme. I mean, you see the posts on social media. Every week, it's a new screenshot of something that he did. Week one, it's putting his hands over his head when he throws that pick six against the Bears, the backward shuffle pass to Tajay Spears. Then against Green Bay, there was a turnover, and you see the Green Bay players on top of him when he's on the ground. I mean, every week it's something new. The only game they won was against the backup quarterback where Mason Rudolph just handed the ball off the whole time. And it worked. And here they try to do the same thing because they don't trust Will Levis. Like Tony Pollard, he scores that touchdown, that was great, but it was on third and long. And they just didn't want to risk Will Levis throwing a pick. He's not good. He's not good. And the Titans, they're going to be a team that is going to be looking for a new quarterback. I was willing to give Will Levis another chance because, this is his second year and, new system. They added some more talent around him. Even though, I mean, look, Tony Pollard's been good, but, I mean, you see what Derrick Henry's doing in Baltimore right now? But, yeah, I just thought that, maybe he'll be okay. He has not been okay. He's been bad. And, I was saying maybe the bye week will help him. I know he got hurt in the game against the Dolphins, but maybe the bye week's going to help him. No. The bye week did not help him. 95 passing yards. And this Colts defense has not been good this year. So, the Titans might be a team that, makes a change at quarterback. I think they should. Because now, they go play the Bills in Buffalo this upcoming week. And did you see how the Bills dismantled the Jaguars? One of their AFC South compadres? The Bills are going to do the same thing to the Titans. So, yeah, the Titans, they're another team that's just going to... Yeah, they're going to be picking... They're going to be picking in the top 5. You might see 2 AFC South teams picking in the top 5 this year. Really. With the way things are going. But, yeah, it's just... And you wonder, could DeAndre Hopkins get traded? Because I know he's been a conversation of trade rumors. I know the Chiefs were connected to him. I mean, he signed Tyler Boyd and Calvin Ridley. I mean, they're kind of locked in. They're stuck there. But yeah, I mean, this offense is not good, but it really falls on the quarterback, in my opinion. Because I do think if they had a better they had a better quarterback in place. I mean, this team does not only have one win. But Will Levis is just not that good. He's not. Really, ever since that debut that he had, I mean, he hasn't been great. And he shows flashes where you're like, oh, that was a good throw. Oh, okay. But the bad has really outweighed the good. And, I think he might be benched sooner rather than later. Now you would think the Browns would do that with Deshaun Watson, but here's the thing: Deshaun Watson, huge investment. Will Levis is on a rookie contract. They could bench him and look somewhere else, and it could be in the top 5 this year. So, yeah, not a good game for the Titans. The Colts. Look, the Browns. You should have not let go of Flacco. Sorry, should have kept him, but they didn't want to. They didn't want to. So, but yeah, the Colts get back to 500. But yeah, their schedule gets tougher. So, getting back to 500 was big. Titans continue to search for answers, and you're not going to find your answers when you take on the Bills, because that game could get ugly very fast. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about this game. What were your takeaways from it? Let me know in the comments. So we're going to take our final break of the show, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the Sunday night game between the Bengals and the Giants. A very low-scoring game. We'll get into all that, how that game went down, as the Bengals did pick up a win that they desperately needed, and the Giants once again continue to disappoint their fans. So we'll get into all that when we come back from our final break of the show already. So for one final time today, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.